The American is basically college football's version of a bar fight. Everybody thinks they're the toughest guy in the room, everybody lands a few punches, and by the end of the season, half of the conference is either beaten to death or on life support. Except for a couple teams, almost everyone in this conference can be a player in the conference title race from top to bottom. And if you think you know who's winning this league in August, quit smoking the crack and pay attention. This conference has a nasty habit of making dumbasses out of all of us. I still don't know who's actually going to win the damn thing after doing my research, but I do know where to make my picks for the upcoming season.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This video is sponsored by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. Now, if there's one thing the American is good at, it's convincing you that you've figured out the conference right before somebody ruins your entire prediction sheet. You'll spend 3 weeks thinking one team is legit, then they lose by 17 to somebody you forgot existed, another team looks dead, suddenly wins 5 straight, and now I'm sitting here wondering why the hell I bothered researching any of this. But this is where PrizePicks can come in. It's a daily fantasy sports app, and instead of just trying to solve the entire damn conference, you can focus on individual picks. Just choose more or less on a few players and build your lineup. Passing yards, rushing yards, points, strikeouts, whatever sport you're watching. You can also make team picks, including who wins and what the point spread might look like. And if you don't trust either team enough to pick a winner, which is honestly a healthy response to American football, you can even pick the total points scored in a game. I am buried deep in these previews. So instead of pretending I've unlocked the secrets to Tulane or Memphis or Navy or East Carolina or whichever team decides to be a completely different animal by October, I could just find a few projections I actually like and build from there. As a matter of fact, I got confident, and I picked the Bengals to win the goddamn Super Bowl. Shut the fuck up. I will not get off this horse. They're winning this year. PrizePicks is now available in most of the United States, including California, Florida, and Texas. And right now, play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in bonus lineups if you win. Yep, they changed the offer. Use code HMA when you sign up, play your first lineup of $5 or more, and if you win, you'll get $150 in bonus lineups. Hit the link in the description and check out PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. And as always, play responsibly.
We now join our regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
Jeff Monken has quietly turned Army into one of the Americans' toughest opponents. Yeah, this team went 7-6 last year, but they won the damn conference the year before that, and most of their losses they had were close shaves. They lost to Navy by 1, Tulsa by 1, North Texas in overtime, and gave Tulane everything they could handle. The battle plan has not changed. Army is going to march the triple option down the field like General Sherman marching to the sea. The Black Knights once again have one of the best rushing attacks in the nation, as Cale Helms is back after rushing for over 1,200 yards and will be behind 4 returning starters on the offensive line. They don't give a fuck if you know what's coming. They're going to run it up your ass anyway. The concern, of course, is on the defense. Army has to replace a ton of production at linebacker and in the secondary, and after finishing with just 15 sacks last year, they've got to find a pass rush as soon as possible. Jeff Monken has built a machine at West Point, and unlike everyone else, he doesn't have to worry about NIL or half of his roster entering the damn portal every December since they are a military service academy. The schedule also set them up pretty nicely. If the defense comes together, don't be surprised if Army is marching right back into the American Championship conversation.
Hello, beautiful.
Give up. No, I'm serious. Just give the fuck up. You went 1-11 last year, and you got nothing but a few twigs and a used condom wrapper left to turn this into a suitable football team. I don't give a fuck if it's Cole Gonzalez or Connor Harrell trying to revive this godforsaken offense at quarterback. You still got Navy, ECU, Tulane, Memphis, App State, and fucking Ole Miss on your schedule! Head coach Tim Albin isn't trying to rebuild a football team, he's trying to revive a corpse that died 2 years ago. Just stop, it's fucking embarrassing at this point. If there's one team in the American that lost damn near everybody yet still has people believing in them, it's apparently East Carolina. Quarterback, their leading tackler, 4 of their top 5 pass catchers, and their offensive coordinator, yet somehow people still think this team can win 9 games and hang around the conference race. It's not fans being delusional, it's just the kind of confidence Blake Harrell has built in Greenville. The roster has been rebuilt through the transfer portal, and the quarterback battle between Emory Williams and Mitch Griffiths should be one of the most important in the conference. If one of them breaks out quickly, ECU has enough talent to stay in the American just like they did last year. Except this time they won't be hanging on like a pirate that got his leg blown off by a cannonball. They could be a legit player. The biggest concern is obvious: chemistry. When you replace almost an entire football team, there's no guarantee it all comes together by week 1. And opening the season against Alabama is not exactly the best way to break the damn ice. After Alabama, though, the schedule actually sets them up pretty nicely throughout the season. I don't know if the Pirates will get it together in time to get back to 9 wins, but I'd be shocked if they weren't right in the mix for another bowl game and hanging around the American title conversation well into November. Zach Kittley has one mission: score 1 billion points. And judging by last season, mission mostly accomplished. FAU led the nation in passing offense with 340 yards per game, and Caden Veldkamp is back after throwing over 3,600 yards and 24 touchdowns. His top target, Easton Messer, also returns after hauling in 104 catches and over 1,000 yards. This offense is going to be a nightmare for defenses all over the American, and will probably make a few defensive coordinators shit themselves in fear. Now here's the problem: turnovers. Good God, man, so many fucking turnovers! The Owls threw a nation-high 20 interceptions, finished with a minus 21 turnover margin, and basically turned every game into an Oprah episode. You get the ball! You get the ball! Everybody gets the ball! Defensively, they don't have to become as good as Georgia, they just have to get off the field and force a few takeaways. Last year, they created only 8 turnovers. And when your offense already forgets that the ball is supposed to stay on their side of the field, that's a recipe for 4-8. The Owls could be a dark horse as Kittley's offense is legit. Most of the important pieces are back, and year 2 should be much smoother than year 1. But if they keep giving the ball away like the world's dumbest charity, they're going to spend another season wondering how the fuck they lost games where they gained 500 yards. If there's one program in the American that just refuses to die, it's Memphis. Ryan Silverfield is gone. Charles Huff is in, and somehow the Tigers managed to replace almost the entire roster by importing half of Southern Miss. Seriously, this team is basically a group of 5 all-star squad held together with transfer paperwork and Elmer's glue. The biggest question is quarterback. I don't give a fuck if it's Aaron Noland or Marcus Stokes. Somebody has to take control of an offense with some intriguing weapons and has an offensive line that should be solid if all the new pieces mesh. If Huff's track record is any indication, the offense should be fine. The concern once again is just chemistry. When you're replacing 22 starters, talent only gets you so far. This isn't NCAA 27 where you can just hit sim week and magically game team chemistry. These guys have to learn to play together. The schedule doesn't do Memphis any favors. Road trips to UNLV, Boise State, Tulane, South Florida, and Navy are about as unfriendly as it's going to get. That said, this is Charles Huff in charge of a football team. And everywhere Huff has gone as a head coach, he's left the program winning. Not to mention, Memphis hasn't had a losing season since 2013. Until somebody proves me otherwise, Memphis is going to be contending for the conference title and be in a potential playoff discussion. All because they refuse to fucking die. Brian Newberry has this thing rolling. After winning 10 games last season, the midshipmen aren't just looking to stay in the American race. They're looking to win the whole damn thing and potentially make the playoffs. Imagine a service academy being the 12th team in the playoffs and competing for the national title. That would feel more like the 1940s than Japan trying to fuck with our boats. Replacing Blake Horvath, Eli Heidenreich, and Alex Texza is a hell of a lot of production to lose. The good news is Braxton Woodson has been waiting for this opportunity. He knows the offense, and he'll be running behind one of the best offensive lines in the conference with 4 starters returning. If the option is going to keep humming, it'll start up front. The offensive line also returns plenty of experience, so don't expect Navy to suddenly stop chewing up 8-minute drives. The concern is replacing some key pieces on defense. The midshipmen lost several veteran defensive players up front, so the next wave has to step in if they're going to keep forcing offenses into 3rd and long. The schedule is also not a joke. A couple of bad Saturdays and you're suddenly out of the American title picture. That said, it's Navy. Every August, people convince themselves this is the year the option's not going to work. Then November rolls around and the midshipmen are sitting there with 9 wins, while defensive coordinators are having their shit thrown out of the office. The midshipmen will be a fucking problem once again in the American. Look, let's just be clear here. North Texas as we know it relocated North Oklahoma to become the goddamn Cowboys after arguably one of the best seasons in program history. Eric Morris and all the stars from that team are gone after nearly winning the American. So now what? Neil Brown takes over a roster that will likely be starting 22 transfers this season. It's an all-new team with new perks and new problems. While last year the offense was built on quick drives and high scores, this year the Mean Green will likely try to slow shit down a bit and give the defense a longer breather in between drives. Journeyman transfer quarterback Tavion Jackson comes in to hopefully stabilize the rebuild, with Jaheim White and Nick Osho leading the running back core, and guys like James Tyre and Grayson O'Bara leading the wide receivers. While the offense will need some time to come together, it doesn't really look that bad. It's going to have some players with experience starting out. I can't say the same, and it's going to have players with experience starting on the rotation, which is always a good thing. I can't say the same for the defense. Terrell Washington is the only player of note returning, with the rest obviously being less experienced transfers. The raw talent alone here is enough, I think, to keep the North Texas Mean Green competitive. Not conference title contenders as the schedule resembles a meat grinder, but hopefully enough to make a bowl game and be a pain in the ass for their opponents. After losing the whole damn team and having to start all over again, 6 wins sounds like a major accomplishment.
Will Henderson on the edge. Will Henderson, open field in front of him in the end zone, a touchdown.
This is what you give me to work with. Well, honey,
You taking a metal whisk and beating the ever-living shit out of the grains of rice. What you're doing is the triple D. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, and dishonor on your goddamn cow! You can literally hear the grains of rice screaming, "Stop beating our asses!"
It's easy for me to call Rice a lost cause because, hello, it's Rice for fuck's sake! This team is the perennial jobber of college football. The only reason they have gone bowling the last 2 years despite winning only 5 games is due to being the smart sons of bitches that they are. So are they going to improve this year and earn a bowl game the correct way? Well, when the ground game is actually working, it's hard to stop the Owls from running the ball. Curry Brown and Quentin Jackson will captain the attack. Brown can't throw the ball to save his life, but he's 6'4", 200 pounds and can run the ball by himself. Meanwhile, Jackson is just a fast motherfucker who averaged 5 yards per carry last year. The problem is that the second you contain the rushing attack, everything falls apart like Rice's Stadium. There won't be a passing game to bail their asses out, and the defense can't generate turnovers or stop opponents in the red zone at all. While I would love to see Rice come out and shock a few people, they're going to get slaughtered more often than not. After the tire fire that was Trent fucking Dilfer at UAB, Alex Mortensen comes in to clean up the mess that fucker left behind. He ain't got much to work with, sadly. The offense will be led by an okay quarterback room in Ryder Burton and Nate Rogers. They will have the benefit of having a surprisingly good offensive line to cover their ass and hopefully not let everyone in the backfield. Rod Robinson and Javin Simpkins, as well as Bam Reynolds, will surely benefit on the rushing attack. So why does everyone think UAB is going to be terrible this year with this okay offense? The defense. Or should I say, what they try to pass off as a defense is fucking atrocious. There are way too many goddamn problems that need to be fixed here. If you want to know the main reason why Dilfer didn't work out, it's right fucking here. Only 0-12 UMass had a worse defense last year in all of FBS. If you can be even slightly better this year on stopping the other team from scoring, that will get you part of the way out of the grave you fell into when you hired Trent fucking Dilfer. Alex Golesh pulled up the stakes and took the circus to Auburn after last season. So go ahead and expect that there is nothing expected from South Florida until we see them play a few games. 58 transfers came in to hopefully get this brand new coaching staff started on the right foot. That said, the Bulls have some actual players coming in. Quarterback Michael Van Buren comes in from LSU with high praise after having to guide the Tigers through the fallout of Brian Kelly's firing last season. With the SEC experience from LSU and his first season at Mississippi State, he's used to chaotic environments and should do fine. Wait a minute, South Florida might be doing the dual quarterback system? Who the fuck is the other guy? Oh, dear Lord. This poor son of a bitch is back on my channel again? Brother, I don't know how in the fuck you keep getting work after the bullshit you've been through. One of the 3 quarterbacks that played for the infamous 2-10 Florida State squad that ended up starting a goddamn soap opera on this channel is going to split snaps in South Florida. Considering that the last time we saw you was when you went 3 for 5 in the Duke's Mayo Bowl loss to Wake Forest, I imagine that Van Buren will be taking the majority of the snaps, barring some ungodly catastrophe. Outside of having a running back by committee and a few decent wide receivers, the offense is the biggest question mark heading into the season. The defense, on the other hand, might actually be bigger and better than last year's squad. The line got some meat, with Asani Redwood, Major Dillard, and Terry Simmons Jr. transferring in. Other defensive transfers include CJ Hicks coming in from Ohio State at edge rusher, Grayson Pup Howard arrives from Florida, Michael Harris is checking in from Maryland, and Sam Robinson moves in from Rutgers for the linebackers. Taven Ward is back in the secondary with a stout group of transfers as well. Zaquan Bryan from Minnesota, Tavion Beasley from BYU, and Amarian Fortenberry from Kansas State. And of course, how can I forget, Nico Gramatica is back at kicker. Recite the ancient chant with me, boys. Gramatica is Automatica. All told, South Florida reloaded with enough of the right pieces to be a problem in the American. Now it's just a matter of if the new head coach, Brian Hartline, can put it all together in the right order. If they can do that, they might surprise some folks. If they can't, well, it'll be chalked up as a rebuilding year. No pressure, boys.
Me.
Oh yeah, you exist. Believe it or not, Meep has been extremely consistent under Jeff Traylor, leading San Antonio to 6 straight winning seasons. The problem isn't if they can win, it's wondering if they could take that next step and be a real contender. UTSA can put up 40 points per game, no problem when the offense is clicking. And with Owen McCown back this year after throwing 30 touchdowns and only 7 picks last season, I expect more of the same this time around. Will Henderson will be there at running back to mix it up when McCown decides to take a break, and the offensive line is a solid enough group. The defense also should be fine as long as they continue to get third down stops with good size up front and a no-fly zone being declared in the secondary. The issue is that the portal wrecked them hard over the offseason. A lot of great defensive players abandoned the Alamo for greener pastures and will not be easily replaced. It's going to be much more difficult getting those third down stops and takeaways if the right guys aren't starting fast. Not to mention, the offense lost some depth at wide receiver, which is a big fucking problem when your best player is the quarterback. The biggest loss being Devin McEwen to Ohio State. That said, there is enough to contend for the American down the stretch. I'm not going to say UTSA should win the conference. With how chaotic this conference usually gets towards the end of the season, it would be shocking if they weren't at least somewhat in the mix.
Who the fuck is this guy?
We are taking an independent break here as we toss UConn into the fucking ring of fire. A program that should honestly still be in the American, but they're not, because the American got salty over their Big East affiliation in non-football sports. Either way, this program had a damn good season last year, but again, just because they're independent doesn't mean they're immune to being poached. And indeed, the Vultures swarmed the Huskies. They took a lot of hits, including losing their head coach, Jim Mora, to Colorado State. But they did gain Jason Candle from Toledo, who has proven to be a damn good coach in his own right. The offense will be completely different, starting with the offensive coordinator. Wait a minute, what's his fucking name again? Nunzio Camanile. I feel like I was just invited to an Italian grandma's Sunday dinner just reading that name. Nunzio comes in from Syracuse, and while there is a bit of a battle for quarterback, the real focus of production on offense will be the running game. Kenji Christian was a strong back for Toledo. Sincere Bowers is a quick option from West Virginia, and Trey Kornitz is a tough runner from Central Michigan. It's honestly a pretty tough rotation at running back. Just hope that the offensive line clicks together pretty quick, as it's all transfers and rubber cement. What backs up UConn's uncertain offense is a supposedly strong defense. If there was one thing Candle was known for at Toledo, it was putting together defenses that resembled a fortified military base. 5 players are coming in from Toledo with Candle to shore up some holes from Mora's departure. There is some concern on whether or not they're going to get into the backfield more often this time around. With all the new parts and uncertainty, going 500 should be a realistic hope for Husky fans. Okay, back to the American we go. Casey Keeler is cooking up something that we haven't seen at Temple in quite some time. A competent football team. Yeah, they went 5-7 last year, but that's their best record since 2019. Keeler has been coaching for 33 years and has never had back-to-back losing seasons. I'm pretty sure he doesn't intend to start doing that in Philadelphia. But, I mean, come on, it is Temple. This program was being considered for elimination not too long ago, for fuck's sake. Now they could be knocking on the door of a bowl game for the first time in ages. They have some solid pieces returning in Evan Simon at quarterback and JoJo Bermudez and Colin Chase at wide receiver. An offensive line that doesn't suck, and tight end Peter Clark, who should be a fucking beast. The defense overall might not be loaded with big boys, but they have enough experience and discipline to make the offense shit bricks. Sure, the corners are lacking in set experience and the pass rush needs to, exist. But again, the potential is there to be successful. Add in a surprisingly easy schedule, and Temple should be able to finally break the streak and go bowling if they pick up an upset or two, and perhaps do even more in 2027. Well, that party was fun, wasn't it? Won the American, went 11-2, and got curb stomped by Ole Miss in the first round of the playoffs as a reward. I take it you might be feeling a little raw about that last thing, but to be fair, Tulane being anywhere near the national title race was a fantasy scene only on NCAA 14 back in the day. It was enough. And sadly, as far as you're going to get for now. John Sumrall is gone, along with a bunch of talent that made the run last year happen. It is now up to new head coach Will Hall to keep Tulane from sliding back to the depths of 2-10 6 years ago. Jamar McClure and Jalen Lewis look to anchor the rushing attack behind an offensive line that wasn't totally decimated by the portal. Not to mention Anthony Brown-Stevens returns for another run at wide receiver. So who's the quarterback going to be then? Frankly, that's the only thing stopping me from saying Tulane has a shot at repeating. Caden Simonza, Zion Chris Gramillion, Dragon Bruno, and freshman Trace Johnson are all currently in a battle royale to try and win the starting job. One thing is for sure though, they won't have an offense good enough this year to save a defense that last year could have been best described as mid. The D-line was gutted, and there is a lack of experience in the secondary that could cause some problems. Losing corner Jaheim Johnson to Arkansas and safety Javian White to Houston really hurt them here. They will likely make enough noise to hang around this year, but the odds are that they won't be in the title game again after all this turnover. But hey, at least you won't suck. Considering that's all Tulane football was for the better part of 3 generations, I'd say the fans will happily take a 7 or 8 win season at this point. Tulsa quietly did something unexpected this past offseason. They got a lot of talent from the portal. For a team coming off 4 straight losing seasons, it is a testament to the confidence head coach Trey Lamb is bringing into the program. He landed running backs Damari Alston from Auburn, Seth Davis from Mississippi State, and Traquan Jones from Old Dominion, which was the equivalent of conducting a fucking coup for the Golden Hurricane. Add in David Wells Jr. from Oregon State to help stop the bleeding at wide receiver, and suddenly we have legitimate scoring options here. If you can just get a quarterback that doesn't think the football is a present and understands that it's not everybody's birthday on defense, we might see a few more wins this year. Tulsa lacked depth last year, but they were able to go get some more bodies via the portal, and it might make the difference. Getting Kyron Duho and Thomas Davis from the portal provides a decent edge rushing attack, and Devin Hightower comes in alongside returning veteran Will Alexander at linebacker. However good that all sounds, there is one thing I am begging you to do better this year, boys. Learn how to stop the fucking run. The only time you defended against the run successfully was when you were playing teams that like to air it out more than ground and pound. Getting a few more turnovers would also go a long way towards getting back to a bowl game after only forcing a total of 10 goddamn turnovers over 10 games. There are no surefire wins for Tulsa this year, and as I've said time and time again, the American is going to be a bloodbath. Bowling would be a huge accomplishment for Tulsa if they do enough on defense. Otherwise, it'll be another quiet year for them. Y'all know damn well I'm not getting this right. I'm going to say screw it and go Navy knocking off South Florida for the American. If nothing else, because I feel like they might be set up the best heading into the season. Navy is a proven winner, and South Florida has a lot of firepower with nothing to lose. I hope you brought the popcorn in the best possible sense of the word.
Getting back to what I like.